cash everywhere, and no culprit to be found. In simple words, that's the story of Justice Yashwant Varma, who was transferred under rather mysterious circumstances from the Delhi High Court to his parent court, which is Allahabad High Court, only to be stripped of all kinds of judicial work. Now, if we were to really go back in history, folks, why history? I say over the last 2 years, just ask yourself in how many instances politicians, bureaucrats, academics, activists have all faced the harsh arm of financial investigators, whether it's the Enforcement Directorate or the income tax authorities or the CBI, just because there is an iota of suspicion of them being involved in some cash deal. Now, here, Justice Yashwant Varma, in whose own outhouse bundles of cash were allegedly found, a video to this extent was put up by none less than Justice Sanjeev Khanna of the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice of our country, on the Supreme Court's own website. And yet, what do we have? We have a private ceremony which has now taken place because Justice Yashwant Varma had to be given an oath of secrecy. He had to be administered the oath of a judge at Allahabad High Court. In the interim, of course, the story of the Allahabad High Court Bar Association being upset with this move continues to take place. But that's not the story on the squirrels.in. My question today to the honorable judges is that if you've already administered him the oath, then have you not willy-nilly already conveyed it to the public that in your opinion, in your mind, Justice Yashwant Varma is not guilty? And why is Justice Yashwant Varma not guilty? Because Justice Yashwant Varma has taken this position. Well, there was some cash which was supposedly there, but I have no idea because I was not in my house, so it's not my cash, and therefore I cannot be subjected to any kind of questioning. There is a special committee which was set up of honorable chief justices of different high courts by the Supreme Court. Just ask yourself this simple question. If Justice Yashwant Varma has been given an oath of a judge at Allahabad High Court while he's not being given any judicial work, does this not fly in the face of the intent which was supposedly being shown earlier by setting up of the 3-judge committee? Now, the committee continues to do its own investigations. Let's break down a few questions which you may never find an answer to. And let me for a moment just stay with what has been stated by Justice Yashwant Varma. His position is there was no cash, according to him, but the Supreme Court's website has uploaded a video which shows cash. Squirrels.in and my colleagues, we've spoken to a whole range of stakeholders on all sides. We've spoken to former judges, we've spoken to present serving lawyers, we've spoken to people who could be familiar with the case. And what we are now telling you is a sequence of events or certain unanswered questions which we put together on the basis of those questions, on the basis of the sequence of events which has been narrated by Justice Yashwant Varma himself, which is, in simple terms, there is no sequence according to him. Question number 1. If Justice Yashwant Varma says that he doesn't know that there was any cash in his outhouse, but the video which was uploaded shows that there was cash, then the simple question, number 1, is who brought in that cash? Does the common public have access to the outhouse of a judge? We've had an interview with Justice Bhupendra Chaubey, the former judge of the Supreme Court, the former Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court, and he has taken a straightforward position that if someone had to take a bribe of 50 crores, then that bribe of 15 crores, and that bribe would not have been taken in cash. It would have been taken somewhere else. It would have been taken in some crypto form. It could have been taken in the form of gold. Well, obviously, the learned judges would know how a sum of 15 crores or 50 crores could be moved. But Justice Chaubey believes that he knows Justice Yashwant Varma for 3 generations, and therefore, in his mind, Justice Yashwant Varma is not guilty. Okay, let's take it there. But that question which I raised, who brought in the cash? Will we now find an answer to that? Because Justice Yashwant Varma now, once again, is a judge of the Allahabad High Court. Question number 2. What happened to all the CCTV footage? Tughlaq Crescent, the area where Justice Yashwant Varma's residence was, is a high-profile area. Many MPs, ministers, honorable people of our political ecosystem are all staying there. Wouldn't be that difficult to get hold of CCTVs. What has happened to that CCTV footage? I'm saying if the Supreme Court could think in terms of putting up the video on its own website, well, how about putting up the video of these CCTV cameras as well? Is it that difficult and asked to figure out how many people went inside the residence of a judge over a finitely defined period? Question number two. I know enough judges. There are enough judges in and around Delhi, across the country, whose residences I have gone to. And I can tell you that access to a judge, getting to a judge, is subject to certain protocols. As a journalist, as a media person, I can seek an appointment, I can go there. As family members, someone can maybe just walk through. But as security personnel, there are very clearly defined perimeters. There are clearly defined areas beyond which you cannot go. So my point is this. If we were to take this position that this outhouse where this cash was allegedly found was being supposedly used only and only by the CRPF and other security personnel, who were these security personnel? If they are being questioned, do we know their antecedents? For how long were these people there? Will you find an answer to this? Well, how will you find an answer? Because Justice Varma has now been sent to Allahabad and he's been given an oath. Question number three, the presence of lawyers. The whole Delhi rumor mill is abuzz with 2 lawyers or 3 lawyers who supposedly had access to the judge, and maybe their intentions are under a cloud of suspicion. But who were these lawyers? How many lawyers are being asked for a statement to be made before this committee? Is it true that 3 of these lawyers supposedly have connections with the media fraternity as well? Now, I'm not saying there are people from the media who are involved, but I am raising a simple question on the basis of conversations which we've had. Is it true that 3 lawyers who supposedly have information of this entire case are people who may have relations with the media? Who are these 3 lawyers? Will we know? If this is such a big milestone moment in the history of our judiciary, I have one simple demand to make. Bring out all investigations which are being done, in this case in public domain, if you want to restore credibility in our judiciary. Otherwise, now having given this oath to Justice Varma, you are essentially giving out this message that there are 2 sets of laws in this country. How many people in this country have faced the ire of investigating agencies? How many business houses have shut down, have been harassed because some cash of 4 lakh, 5 lakh, 10 lakh, 15 lakh was supposedly found? Now here, I'm constantly using the word supposedly, but there is video evidence. And yet the honorable judges have chosen to administer the oath of secrecy to Justice Varma. Does not do the judiciary any favor whatsoever.